that the objective of the Indian Army or the Indian Air Force or the Indian Navy is to give the best of supplies to its soldiers, Sainiks, everybody, because they are the ones who are defending the country. The problem here is very, very clear that corruption seems to have set its dirty foot into all these systems as well, and the soldiers are the ones who are bearing the brunt. The officers clearly may not be at the receiving end because they seem to be enjoying the privileges pretty well.
You see, I first of all want to clarify that there are two government authorities which are involved in this report. One is the KAG, as you said. The other one is the Director General of Audit Defence Services, Parag Prakash. He himself is pointing out, and they are talking in context of food. That is why they are saying that the low quality of food has led to the low level of satisfaction of troops regarding quality, quantity and taste. You see, first of all, let me tell you, no government authorities of such high order will specifically say. They are only hinting, they are only alluding to the problem which is taking place in the services. They are not talking now, when you talk about food, its taste, its quantity, its quality, you are not talking about only about expiry dates and things like that. You are talking about the food which is supplied, the sustenance which is supplied to our troops. They are talking about that. And you see, at such a high level, they probably will not specify, no, only canteen items 40 have failed the test. They are referring to the subject as a whole.
And
so this is an alarming problem.
And Commander Singh, if you actually go through the small little article also that appeared on the Times of India as well as the other publications, it very specifically mentions that while the canteen is a big issue, massive issue, because substandard items are being sold there, it talks about some of the samples that were examined by the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, and they came up with the feedback that 46% of the ingredients that are used in preparing those samples have already gone past their expiry date, are substandard. We have a caller who's joining us right now from Electronic City. Srinivas, thank you so much for calling in. Your thoughts?
Thank you. Thanks. And I would like to share only one important thought with respect to soldiers' life. Because food is one of the important part of everyone's day-to-day routine. If we are compromising on the food quality or the quantity, or in a soldier's life who is serving for the nation, that means we are trial version. We are telling the other countries and the nations that we will not respect our own army people. And we are in such a kind of dual position where we take corruption as one of the hand and earning money from other sources as one of the hand. So if you stop all this kind of activities which are related to the food production and the kind of audits which you need to perform on a daily basis, you will serve the soldier much better, because after the soldier dies for the nation, there is nothing much you would be contributing to the family except that taking the body to the respective location. So I urge the media as well as the respective national security group and the army team to take this matter seriously and work out on it till the case gets resolved and our soldier gets a high quality food.
Right.
So that we will respect our soldiers at the utmost low level as well as to the any kind of level in ranking which he or she might possess in the army or the Navy defense organization.
Right.
So if you are compromising on this quality of food or the water or the supply of any material for the army resources, that means that you are compromising on the Indian army and telling the other nations that we will compromise on anything and everything which is related to the life.
Absolutely. If you're compromising with your defense forces, then you're compromising with practically everything in your country, because at the end of it, defense forces are more important for us than anything else. And that is the reason why the defense in itself enjoys the biggest chunk as far as the national budget is concerned. There is a reason why we want to build our forces, because at the end of it, they are the ones who will be protecting us from any kind of danger, any kind of atrocity. And mind you, we are stuck in a situation wherein we have got enemies practically everywhere across the neighborhood.
Right. So what I urge is, if we are telling in the media channel that we have so and so corruption rate with respect to audit group or with respect to the supply chain management, or with respect to the food collection agencies and everything, that means you are compromising on every single element with respect to the soldier's life.
Right.
And one more thing I would like to highlight,
Sure.
that if we are not able to provide the proper food from our own sources, which is our motherland India, so I urge that we provide the food from other nations who are able to serve us better.
Right.
So,
well, that is a different issue altogether. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us, Srinivas. I think you made some valid points. The very fact that we are unable to check the quality at different levels. If we assume, or if there is a reality that FCI is all over the place, leave that aside. Isn't it the responsibility of the army to ensure that the quality standards are at their best at all times? Shouldn't there be a mechanism which will say, because the rules are different for the rest of the country as compared to the defense personnel. You know, if there is somebody who's from the army or from the air force or from the navy and he indulges, let's say, in a fight with a civilian, he is dealt with differently. It is not the local police that will arrest him. The army, you know, whatever, the hierarchy will deal with him. Shouldn't there be a different standard for the food that is given to the soldiers when it comes to inspection of the quality of the ingredients, right from the beginning I'm talking about?
Now see, it's a question of basic standards that has been established by the Bureau of Indian Standards and the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. There is a basic standard. Even that standard itself is not so all that good compared to the FDA standards or the FSA standards in the UK.
Right.
But it's okay. But for example, if you simply take the bread, the maida, if you take, you are allowed to add urea legally, because as a flour treatment chemical. It's called carbamide in the Food Safety Act. But we continue to add. We continue to add potassium bromate, which the CSC brought about, and then the government banned it. We have continuously add this kind of additive. There are 11,000 food additives. The government of India itself, through their monitoring of pesticide, you know, across the country, they openly told in the parliament that 12% of food samples in the country have X pesticide than the tolerable limit. And the Sharad Pawar, then agriculture minister, said we have allowed banned pesticide to be used in this country in the interest of farmers. Can you imagine? So our food safety is highly compromised. It is height, and most of the diseases, ill health, morbidity, including mortality, stemmed from compromised food quality. It has to be understood. Even today, FCA supplies highly polished, devitalized white rice both to the army and to the nation. That has lost all its nutrients.
Right.
But that's the kind of food safety. When you are talking about food safety, whether it's the removal of nutrient, adding unwanted things with pesticide residues,
additives,
there,
preservatives, whatever you want to call it. Yes.
You got it. So there's a whole lot of issues that this country has to face. We do not have a good number of laboratories. The food safety system is not very transparent.
Doctor, my question to you is very simple. Yes, we have got our standards which are all over the place. The very fact that I've been eating, you know, a certain noodle brand from the time I was born, only last year I got to know that it has got high content of MSG.
Correct.
And that too because there was some issue that happened between the inspectors and some local retailers, and that's how the whole thing was blown out of proportion.
Yes.
There also, had they fixed it, I think it would have never made news.
Absolutely. See, it is a media. See, MSG issue went wrong. They didn't know what to do. Government of India didn't know how to catch the culprit because it was not the MSG. It was the alternatives to MSG that were added. But they never bothered to look there.
Right.
So I'm saying that is a compromised system. Even today, somebody recently called me up and said the government of Karnataka wants to ban MSG. I said there is no point now because there are 100 other alternatives
which are available in the market.
Think of them.
Absolutely.
So we are not comprehensively thinking of.
I have barely about 4 minutes left in the discussion. Very quickly, I would like to take your views on that. Let's start with the Wing Commander. Wing Commander, your views. Do you think that the system is still as sane and as pious as it used to be earlier, or do you think that there is pilferage that is happening there which needs to be addressed?
Were there earlier too, even now it's happening. The point we have to address is the military of this country must be given the best food it is possible.
Which everyone agrees.
Everyone agrees. If you find there are certain loopholes, certain sampling is not available, strengthen those fields. Instead of simply talking about it and creating a kind of a ghost in the minds of the countrymen, start cleaning those systems, develop such laboratories so that we get better care of our soldiers.
Excellent
if you think
care.
CSD
Excellent
things
care.
are bad, ban them. Such products should never be got into CSD again. Ban those products, ban those suppliers, ban those officers who are responsible to get those products into CST.
Right.
Thirdly, my important point is Food Corporation of India must be audited properly with respect to two issues.
Fair
One
enough.
is storage and second is supply.
Right. Fair enough. Thank you so much for your point. Doctor.
See, this is whatever soldier has brought out is only the tip of the iceberg, and the problem exists.
There is a much
it is
bigger
very
problem.
important that in our mindset that we exist. Acceptance of a problem is the first important criteria to solve it.
Absolutely.
Let us accept that there is a problem and we want to solve it. We want to resolve it. We want to become a nation where safety and security is well taken care as far as food is concerned. If food security is not there, what other security we are talking about?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And very quickly, Commander Singh, your thoughts.
You see, times have changed. I would say in the 70s, when there was no electronic media, just newspapers and one Doordarshan or radio, All India Radio, people did not know what is happening in the services. People even did not know even how the defense minister looks like. Today, with so many challenges, things have changed absolutely, and therefore the level of our Jawans' education awareness is far higher with all the social media and electronic gadgets that we have today. So therefore, any problem which is being brought out by our Jawans should be positively seen, constructively resolved. We cannot get away by just oppressing them and suppressing them.
Right.
We have to address honestly, truthfully, and find out the right way for them.
Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. Well, that's all we had over here. Thank you so much for watching. Time for a short break. On the other side, my colleague Sandeep Hans with the latest from the world of news and updates. Stay tuned.